Keg, here we are again.
We are?
Well, not here. This is our first time here, but it's here we are again investigating in Ireland still. So, and we're very much looking forward to this one.
We are. It's a cool place.
Cork jail. How cool! This is just the gatehouse, by the way. It gets better as we go through. As usual, we're not going to try and give you the history, guys, because we try not to look at it. Not until afterwards.
No, well, I think there's only so much your brain can take, isn't it, when you get to a certain age?
Plus, I think the best people to talk about the history are the people that work in these places. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? And before we do anything, my eye just caught this here. Is that original? Or not?
Hard to tell.
Do you know any? Oh, 1822. That looks original.
1822 is quite original.
You can see from the... Sorry guys, I just knocked on the door, my eyes came over here, and then I saw all this graffiti.
You can see that better penmanship back in the 1800s.
You can see it's a lot more... Cursive. And a lot more time taken into it. That's why I thought that.
I mean, we have more modern days here, 2023.
Yeah, well, we ignore that, don't we? Yeah, you can tell the difference. Hello, anyway.
Hello.
This is Craig.
Nice to meet you.
And Craig is going to take us around, show us around Cork Jail, and tell us a bit of history, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Excellent. So let's.
Do you want to come in?
Go on in.
Right.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you.
Here to shut it.
Wow, look at this.
So,
Where is she?
Look at this, guys.
Oh, no, I don't want to leave the door open, that was all.
she's up there.
Cool.
How beautiful. Wow. Very impressive.
Well, I'm glad you like it. It's a very impressive building.
It is.
Very castle-like structure. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the prisoners wouldn't have been able to idle in the garden here in front of us. They will be stuck in their cells. But there is actually a reason why, especially the middle part of the jail there, is so nice.
Yeah.
Now, it was quite common at the time for the governors of the prison to actually live inside the jail with their families. So it was one of the laws they had to follow. So that middle part of the jail there, right in the centre, belonged to the governor and his family. The bottom floor would be his offices, and then the next 2 floors would be his apartments. So that would be the nicest part of the jail.
It's almost like a stately home, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Apart from the
human suffering inside,
the human suffering and the windows and
apart from the bars, of course.
Yeah.
You know, it is very stately. You know, we like to keep things nice here for the prisoners. You know, we can't have them in a bad jail. They're suffering enough inside. They might as well have a nice prison to actually look at.
All right, so give me a brief history on when it was built. And
of course. So the jail itself actually opened in 1824. We opened to replace the old jail, which was actually in Cork city centre. And then we closed in 1923 at the end of the Irish Civil War. Now, during our 99 years, we housed male prisoners, female prisoners, and even child prisoners. So children as young as 9 could be sentenced to serve time in Irish jails.
So not with their parents?
Not with their parents, no, they'd be brought in for their own crimes. Now, usually with the kids, it was minor crimes such as petty theft.
Yeah.
You must remember the period we actually depict on the tour, the 1860s. We weren't that far from the Irish famine, so there was still a lot of suffering and starvation, not only in Cork, but Ireland as a whole. So a lot of the poorer people in the city, children included, were forced into a life of crime in order to survive at the end of the day. And even when we opened as a prison, we were considered one of the better jails in the country at the time. So a lot of people would come to jail for a roof over their head, a clean cell, food, and of course healthcare as well.
Yeah.
Now you're actually getting the VIP treatment today.
Oh,
so
excellent.
If you were actually prisoners back in the 1800s, you wouldn't be brought up here. You'd be brought in around the back of the jail. Now out there you'd be deloused, so white powder will be put in your hair. You see any lice or anything crawling around, give them a quick comb off. you'd be given a good wash, issued a prison uniform, and then you'd be finally brought in to the main jail.
Right.
So if you actually follow me up this staircase here, and we're actually going to enter the governor's garden. Now, if you remember, I said this middle part of the jail was for the governor and his family. So this lovely manicured garden out front would have been for their use as well. You wouldn't catch any prisoner in this garden here.
Oh, look how picturesque this is.
Oh, it's a very nice garden, but as you can see by the cell wings on
I was going to say, it's so
sides,
different, isn't it? That looks like you could just be in one of those really rich, stately homes, and then you move the camera around here, and it tells a completely different story, doesn't it?
You have Downton Abbey in the centre, and
Yeah.
then punishment on the other side. Now, as well as the governor, other staff did actually live in the prison as well. These included the warders. So the warders, just their job to make sure the prisoners were following the rules, not starting any fights. Now, the kind of sections in between the governor's apartments and the wings, so just these small sections on either side, this is actually where the warders would have lived.
Okay.
So if you can kind of imagine it in your head, the governor did have a bit of protection. So he was in the middle, then the warders, and then the prisoners.
Okay.
So at least he had them in case any fight or riot broke out to actually help him.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, look at this.
Now we're going just down this corridor, and remember outside I was saying that this area is actually where the warders used to live.
Yeah.
So this would have been kind of the buffer zone between the governor and the prisoners. Now of course no warders live here today. Today there are lovely toilets. So really got an upgrade.
Handy.
Yeah, very handy. And as well, if you just take note when you're actually going through as well the thickness of the wall between where the prisoners lived and where the governor lived. Very, very thick, so very hard to actually get through.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Now this here is the main body of the jail. In front of you is the western wing. Now, originally when we opened, this was for male prisoners. Women and children were actually kept on the opposite side of the building in the east wing. And this itself is actually a later addition to the jail, added on in the 1870s. Now, originally there was a row of cells just going down, but they would have been smaller, single-sided and very cramped. Actually very similar to the ones you can see just down there.
Yeah, these are a lot creepier, so if you wonder what's down those side bits.
Kind of reclaims back to nature, a lot of pigeons and stuff down there.
There you go. Actually take the light off, Keg, because it's reflecting. Just drop it from there. That's better.
This wing was actually added on due to overcrowding issues. It was just easier to demolish the single-sided wing and add on the newer double-sided wing in its place. Now, this, of course, was a very popular style in British, Irish prisons and prisons around the British Empire as well, in a lot of countries around the world. And obviously it holds twice as many prisoners inside. Yeah. Now the actual common belief at the time was that evil and criminality was like a disease that you could catch. So they feared that if you came to jail, you could become more evil if you talked or just exercised with or just briefly passed another prisoner. So that's why a lot of prisoners would be kept alone in their cells.
Okay.
And that's also why there was a really strong focus on religious education and instruction. Of course, this disease was moral, so the only cure to this moral disease was religion. At the time, they assumed that if you did get a lot of religion in jail, you'd be so holy and so pure upon your release that it would be physically impossible for you to commit another crime again. Now, they had really good intentions, but unfortunately, this did not work. Institutions and conditions were still the same on the outside, so it didn't matter how holy and how spiritual these poor people were, they were still going to do what they had to do to survive.
Yeah. So how many, I mean, going back to paranormal and stuff like that, how many deaths were recorded in this prison?
Now, there actually wasn't that much deaths in this jail. even in the 1860s, there was 13 people
Right.
over the course of that decade who passed away
Yeah.
in the hospital. So not that much. Now, a lot of people who did come in were only here for short sentences. So a lot of times, if they did pass away, it would have been on the outside. Even executions as well, there wasn't that many in the 99 years. We have 3 on record.
Right.
A lot of the executions and more serious crimes would have actually been in the county jail, which is no longer there today. That was actually demolished to make way for the science building on the grounds of the university. So even though this was a place of immense suffering, not a lot of people actually died here. Now, of course, we can't say what happened to a lot of these prisoners when they left. A lot of them might have died afterwards, but certainly inside, you have a good enough record of keeping the prisoners alive. Now, a lot of these wooden walkways that you see coming up as well, they're actually replicas of the original walkway. So when reconstruction started on the heritage site, a lot of the wooden original walkways were extremely dangerous. They were just eaten away. So these are all direct replicas. So this is actually exactly how it would have looked as well, or to the best that they could get with the materials on offer.
Cool. So what's the child?
So this here is an example of one of our child prisoners, Julia Toomey. Now, Julia was only 10 when she came to the jail, and as you can see, she's incredibly lifelike in there, perching down.
That's creepy.
It is very creepy. I remember when we first got her statue in the cell, I kept forgetting that she was in there. So every time I walked up the stairs there, a lot of times you couldn't see her, and then you just kind of catch her out of the corner of your eye. So very, very creepy few months to get readjusted. Plenty of times I nearly fell down that stairs. So Julia, as I said, is one of our child prisoners. Now, she's actually serving 2 weeks in prison for petty theft. So she was actually arrested for stealing a bellows from a shop in the city. Now, at the time, a bellows was a device that you kind of pushed air into a fire to keep it kindled throughout the day and night. So a very popular common device in the 1800s. Now, she was brought in here for 2 weeks, and then at the end of the 2 weeks, she will be transferred to a reformatory school for a number of years as well. Now, remember I said that the idea of evil being contagious, so of course they don't want the children being in jail for a long period of time. They don't want the children becoming more and more evil. And they did assume that if they sent them to these reformatory schools, they would get a complete education, and then they could basically just tear up the record and the kids could go free. So we have another child prisoner actually just next door as well. This is Edward O'Brien. Now, unfortunately, poor Edward did have a harsher time during his time in prison. Now, he was actually only 9 when he came to jail, and he did have a number of previous convictions as well. Now, he was arrested for stealing a bit of brass and brought into prison for 3 weeks. And unfortunately, as you can see, this sentence also included twice weekly whippings with a cat of 9 tails as form of punishment. Now, of course, we were considered one of the better jails, and there was earnest attempts at actually trying to help the prisoners here, but that didn't mean that punishments were just completely banned. It still was the 1800s, people were still going to get punished, like poor Edward here. And just like Julia, he will also be transferred to a reformatory for a few years as well. Now, actually, down this cell right here, you can see very dark.
Oh, there's no glass.
You can actually see that projection there at the end. Now, of course, this is just a projection of a figure that was seen here in the jail. Now, when we actually opened as a heritage site, we did get a number of people come to us and say that they used to actually play on the grounds of the jail when they were children, sneak in, play, use the place to their advantage. and a number of people said that they saw a woman in white down that corridor. So that's actually why we have that projection there, just to honour a piece of local folklore. Now, this is going into my 7th year here. I have yet to see anything down there, but who knows, something else might be down there along with the projection as well. So it's actually just around this area that one of our more famous ghosts was actually seen. Now, of course, this area and the adjoining rooms in there would have all been a part of the governor's apartments. So this would have been some of the nicer parts of the jail. Now, story goes that one of the first managers of the jail was opening up down below in the gatehouse, and there was another worker up here in the main museum. Now, the worker would have actually been just down the staircase there at the front door, dressed all in black, in her black uniform. Now, when the manager was walking up, she said she saw a figure in green, in a green dress, looking out the window over the gardens. Now, she obviously assumed that it was the other worker playing a little joke on her, but when she came in, the worker was standing down below. It would have been very, very hard, if not impossible, to change out of an old-fashioned dress into the black clothes and run down those nearly 200-year-old staircase. So, obviously was not the worker, and that is one of our most famous ghosts here. We actually nicknamed her Olive because of the colour of her dress. Now, she was actually seen more than once. She was seen by this manager a second time. Now, at the end of the day, we like to do a run around the building just to make sure we don't actually lock people in overnight. I know a lot of people wouldn't actually appreciate that as part of their ticket price. So the manager was walking up here, saw the figure in green again, didn't kind of put 2 and 2 together that this was the same figure, told the figure that we were closing, and the figure apparently walked through a wall. So the building just down there, that was the gatehouse. That's kind of the main entrance to the jail. And actually this ghost story happened to me. So we do have an eyewitness here for this one. So before COVID, we used to have a little cafe just on the middle level there, just above the door. Now, when you're working there, you get deliveries a few times during the week. So you obviously get in a bit early, get the deliveries, package them up into the fridge, make sure everything is okay. Now, when you're in there, the cafe isn't actually open. So you're in there doing your own thing. When I was in there one morning, had my headphones in, listened to a bit of music, then suddenly my phone just decided to switch off. So weird things happening with my electronics there, and I did feel a soft but also aggressive tap just on the back of my shoulder there, just forceful enough that I did actually look around to see if there was anyone there, and then no one there, but there was sound of footsteps going down the stairs. Now, there was only one other person in that building at the time, my colleague who was down on the admissions desk. Just like the story with Olive, it would have been physically impossible for him to run up, tap me on the shoulder, and run down in that short space of time. Now, interestingly, the executions, when they did happen, was originally public, and the gallows was actually just out in front of the gatehouse as well.
So on the road side?
Just on the road side, where you actually first entered. It would have been public originally, and the gallows was just out there. So if someone is haunting that particular building, might be someone who actually liked their time here, might be someone trapped or just angry. So now that is the only one that I can fully attest to. Yeah. Kind of shocked when it did happen. It kind of just blew it out of my mind. And when I told people, they're like, that's like a ghost. It's like, oh god, that is a ghost. So I like, even when it happened, I didn't feel scared. There was no kind of, you know, kind of when you see movies or like hear other people talk, it's like I felt very cold, a sense of dread. Just felt normal apart from that little tap and the sound of footsteps.
Yeah.
So actually you can see the staircase going down. It is extremely thin. It's actually called a cantilever staircase. So it's built into the wall as a form of support. So it actually gives you the illusion that it's floating going all the way up. You know, a lot of people think that's going to collapse, but no, it's been here over 200 years. So this area here is actually just on the opposite side of the building on the eastern wing. So it's very similar to the wing that you just saw. It does have a drum gallery there in the middle, and it does have the older style of cell wings jutting off. One directly ahead and then two on either side. So even though it looks very different to the place you've just been, it is quite similar. Now today this just houses a short film that people can visit after the tour, and also a sighting of one of our ghosts here as well, nicknamed the Man in Blue. So we're not very original with the names here, very literal what they mean. So there was one of my colleagues who still works here today as well. So again, at the end of the day, going around doing the check to make sure that there was no one here, claimed to see a man in blue going down this corridor. Now, of course, didn't want to rush the person, thinking they'll take their time. But then as the time moved on, she went down and discovered that there was no one down there. Now, we do have emergency exit doors, but they were not opened, they were still locked. So whatever it was that went down did not come back up.
Cool.
So more than likely that could have been a prisoner in their jail uniform. So we never know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the
That's pretty much the
ghost stories, yeah.
Brilliant.
That's going to fall. That's going to fall.
It's pretty stable.
I don't know.
I agree.
No, it's pretty okay.
Believe.
I'm trying to believe her. But I know what she's like. Where are you? Can you tell us that, please? Where are you? We can't see you.
That way at least. Because I can watch. We can. And that is taken.
Oh, right. What went
That's
off?
got both of us. What was it?
It was a REM poddy type noise. Oh no, it's that. Is it because of the light?
Well, it's only just started doing it. Can you see it with the camera?
The light's very bright. If that was you, can you do it again for me, please? I suppose it's a shape we'd recognise, being a lantern. Can you light that light up again for me, please?
Greetings.
Hello. How are you? Who have we got here? I might move that away from the light.
Yeah, just in case.
Just because people are going to say, well, it was near a light and a power cable. All right, so I've got a little box in my hand here, a little orange light. I'm just going to put it down, just on the edge here. So if you can put your voice on that, that would be much appreciated. My name's Alison.
My name's Cag.
Just wondering if you have a name. Can you give us yours, please? There's been a gentleman seen walking through here. Yep, just like that. I gather if you were freely walking through here, you weren't a prisoner. Maybe you worked here.
Can you tell me, when you were alive, were you male or female? Can you remember?
Okay, we're just going to listen back. You say anything? Thank you.
You're crying. Oh, sorry, what were you accused of? We're not here to judge, we don't mind.
Definitely thought we had something. Okay, we're just going to listen back. No. Nothing talking on there.
Those people behind you looking really creepy, especially the one in the dock. He really stands out. Okay, so my name is Cag, and the lady with the funny... Alright, so my name is Cag, and the lady down there who's got the funny things on her ears, her name's Alison, and if you go up to her and talk to her, she'll be able to hear you. So as I just said, my name is Cag. What's your name, please? Can you tell me? That's gone off again. Don't know what's setting that off, but thank you.
I think that said Tom.
Is that your name? Is your name Tom? Are you the person seen walking through here?
What is this?
Were you a prisoner, Tom?
Tom.
Okay, thank you for that. Were you a prisoner or were you a prison guard? Okay, that's a REM pod went off this time, I think. Don't know which one. There is one right behind us.
Trapped.
Are you trapped in here? Can we help you? If you want some help, we can try and do that for you, but we need to know what you
Out.
need. What, do you want us out? Or do you want to get out here? You need to explain yourself to me. Tom, if you're near Alison, can you go and play with the hair for me, please, so I know where you are? Oh. Okay, guys, either I've just had a muscle spasm in my back or something's just touched my back. I'm not sure what that was. As though somebody was behind me. Could possibly have been a muscle spasm.
Listen.
We are listening. We need you to talk to us, though. Who is the man in...
No, I'm not getting anything.
No?
No, not really.
Well, it's interesting because I did ask for a name. If anybody here, you said Tom.
I heard Tom twice.
Also, the REM pod's gone off.
Oh, okay.
Only a short bit. It was a different noise to them. And I asked for them to touch you, your hair. Why?
I didn't feel it on the hair.
But as I did that...
I should have said something because I felt...
On your back?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, let me point out.
Here.
Just there, I had the same spot. And I didn't know if it was a muscle spasm Or I felt as though somebody touched me, but exactly the same
Yeah,
spot.
it was
yes.
there.
Yeah, exactly the same spot for me. How weird is that?
And I thought, I don't want to call that out because it's like yesterday, Charlotte, I said I felt the hair, and I didn't want it to look like I'm always feeling like I'm being touched.
Oh, that's that going off.
Which,
I think it's that one though. Yeah.
there you go. Can you get that right up? You got it up to blue.
Put your camera on it and it stops. Well, that was interesting because I actually turned round. I went, oh. And I actually turned round because I felt as though something had touched my
that's
back.
what it felt like.
Interesting.
I reckon we go to the other cell block.
These bits in this back there, it's got my bits in it.
Please go.
That's not very nice. All right, if there is anybody here with us tonight, just wondering if anybody would like to talk to us. Now, we can't see you and we can't hear you, but we've got all these lights. They won't hurt you, you've just got to go up to them. Tag a car. If you go up to them and make them light up, then we know you're there. And we know we can have a chat. Got a little box in my hand. I believe a woman's been seen down this hallway. I'll put this little box right here. And if you could put your voice on that, that would be much appreciated. So I'm just going to introduce ourselves because it's only polite. My name's Alison.
My name's Cag.
My name's Craig.
You would know Craig, you would see him around. Just wondering if you are here, what's your name, please? Were you here when this was just a female prison? Women's jail? Oh,
Oh, that
Thank
was
you.
interesting.
wasn't me, got nothing in my hands.
No, that's pretty cool, isn't
Did you
it?
catch that on video?
Yeah.
So you were here when it was a women's jail?
Higher.
Higher. Next floor. We can't go up to the next level, sorry. Is that the level you were on?
Again.
Yeah.
If there's a lady here, were you imprisoned down that hallway down there? Were you imprisoned in one of those cells? Do you have a question? And it's putting you on the spot.
If there was someone here, did you
I want to
suffer?
leave.
Oh.
Go on then.
If there was someone here, were you here because you have to survive?
That's my stomach.
We can understand that. Oh, ball.
Oh yeah, ball going off.
Was that on the tobacco?
Yes.
Did you used to smoke?
Oh, it's gone off again.
Probably one pleasure. All right, we're just going to listen back to that. You said anything? Thank you.
Well, that was pretty cool.
You want us to come down there? You make a nice big bang? Come down and join you?
Oh,
what was
green
that?
for yes. They've just
Oh, a yes.
just behind you.
Okay. That again is on motion and temperature. So it's just lit it up green, which green for yes, red for no. So you do want us to come deeper down? Oh, thank you. I like going up here as well. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll listen back to this, and then maybe we'll come down.
There was a noise, wasn't there?
I'm going to ask you, would they be normal sounds?
Make a noise.
That's what we're asking you to do. We're asking you to make the noise. We're making enough noise. All right, well, listen back to this. I'm tempted because it said yes to go down there.
Yeah.
If you could put your voice on that, that would be much appreciated.
Oh,
That was gone, yeah.
Which, oh, the ball.
tobacco.
So we're just going to introduce ourselves.
Was that a whistle before?
Don't know, I heard about it at the same time you did. Did you used to smoke?
Oh, it's gone up again.
What was that?
Probably one pleasure.
Yeah, what, the knocking?
Hmm.
I don't remember any of us doing that. That.
Do you remember hearing that?
That would have been over by the, because it's loud on the microphone.
It's like a. Do you know what it's like? It's like a stone or something being thrown and it going to yeah, a little tiny.
Like something's thrown and bounced.
Yeah.
I don't remember doing that. And it's loud, so it would have to be near this. This was sitting over there. All right, we're just going to listen back to that. You said anything? Thank you. All right, nothing too much.
That was pretty cool though.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going
Bluetooth
to
device is ready to pair.
go downstairs.
Power off.
Since you've asked us to go deeper.
That sounds really bad. Told you, hold your horizons after a bit.
It's
All
getting
right,
on
so
for
good.
midnight soon, yeah.
Eternity.
Now.
CAG.
That just said CAG.
That said CAG, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it did. It said CAG.
Oh wow.
Mom.
Is that my mother? Mother, bugger off, I'm working, love. Come back later. She's got a habit of coming through.
That's all right. Use my speaker.
Alright. Okay, so if there's anybody with us tonight, you wanted us to come to this area, so we have done. Would you be able to light up one of the lights that we've got here, please? None of them will hurt you. All you have to do is go up to them and they'll flash, they'll change colour, they might make a noise. But then we just know where you are. We can't see you.
You wanted us down here. We've listened. We've come down.
Should we put Ghost Tube on or Vox?
I may go and do the Estes before we run out of time.
Yeah.
We've got headphones.
Hey? Your stops.
Right, I'll go and sit this up instead.
Okay. So we're going to do the S2 session. So we've got the Ghost box, which is a broken radio. Somebody snipped a light, can't stop on one station. It goes up and down the station, spitting out words. I'm actually going to put the headphone set on, so we can't hear. But also she can't hear us what our question's going to be, because we're going to do them nice and quiet. I'm going to see. Is it creepy?
It's creepy, just a bit.
Good. She can't hear us, we can't hear the radio, so. Can you tell me who's with us? My name's Cag, what's your name?
Mad!
You're mad? Why are you mad? Can you tell me? Is Tom here? Tom's the name we had earlier on.
Move!
Okay, we've been told, haven't we?
Yeah.
Somebody's not happy.
That's really interesting.
Right.
Just stopping there because when it said that, based on how it's moved, I actually thought where I'm sitting was, you know, when you've got somebody heavy, you can feel the vibration
Yeah.
walking around. It was really weird.
Okay. Do you want Alison to move off the stairs? That was loud.
Yeah, very loud.
This flux has gone green. Yeah. So you want Alison to move?
John!
Oh, your name's John.
Who's that?
Well, my name's Cag. And you know Craig. And then the lady at the top of the stairs with the funny things on her ears is Alison. Are you okay? Do you need help?
No!
Okay. Well, that was an instant answer, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Because then you can't hear us. Okay, so just to make sure that Alison can't hear us. Alison, we're going to finish now because it's time to go. So can you back up, please? Alison, we need to go now. Okay, now. Just
3!
well, that's how many of us are in
Yeah.
this building now. Is that what you mean by 3?
And we knew that.
If you want Alison to move off that stairs, go and pull her hair to make a move. I'm sure if you do that, she will move off the chair those stairs for you. Go and pull her hair.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, go and tell her. Go on, get her to move. If you pull her hair, she'll move. She's very precious about her hair. So why don't you go and pull her hair so she knows?
Dave!
Who's Dave? Does Dave used to work here or was he a prisoner?
Do it!
Do what? What do you want us to do?
Do it!
Okay, what, pull her hair? Go on, I would. Go on, give it a go. See if you can do it. See if you can pull her hair.
Really cool.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if you could do that. Is there anything you want to ask her? No,
Look at them.
Look at who? She just touched her hair, her head. I wonder if she's had anything issue, whether she was just touching it.
Dangerous.
What's dangerous? Oh, the fact if you pull her hair, she might fall down the stairs. I suppose it is. I've got the car keys though, so it's all good. Another loud noise.
Have you gone down the track that you and me are originally English?
No.
Might be worth it, just to see what
Okay.
opinions of that.
Okay.
Just thinking there would have been a lot of people in here who were. What was that?
Well, that's been. We've had a few. We've had a few.
That's up here with me.
Did anything? Do you have issue with your hair?
Yeah. That's why I put my hand up like that.
What happened?
It felt like somebody pulled some of the strands of hair at the back here.
Okay.
Why?
That's why I asked. I said if you want Alison to move the staircase, pull her hair. She's very precious about her hair. So pull it to get her to move off the stairs.
It felt like there was a few strands just in the crown here, just pulled.
Interesting.
It's interesting, I talked about the English and I had a big crack next to me.
Yeah. Well, understandably they wouldn't like the English.
It's just a thought, because at the end of the day we are English.
Yeah.
We were born English.
Born English.
And it wouldn't have been popular back then in those days.
No, you can't blame them either.
We can't.
All right.
I mean, not in a bad way, just see what the opinion
No.
Use me as a trigger object. If I get thrown down the stairs here, I'm not going to be happy.
As long as you've got the car, as long as the car's safe, it's all good. All right. Okay, so that lady at the top of the stairs, she's actually English, and we know what we think of the English, eh? So think of all those horrible things they did back in the day. So what do you think about her? I'm not telling them that I'm English either, I'm just going to ignore that bit. All right, that lady at the top of the stairs is from England. She is English. What do you think about that?
4 of them.
4 altogether, isn't there?
Yeah.
Did that just say, did you, 4 of them? There are 4 of us altogether.
All gone.
So the English did some really horrible things over here. Put some really silly rules and regulations in place. And the lady at the top of the stairs is English. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to get her to move?
Wouldn't it lead? Wouldn't it lead? Wouldn't it lead?
Go back!
Just tagging, that was the 4th team member just leaving. So it's all good. Go back. Do you want her to go back? Do you want her to go back to England? She is tomorrow.
Don't.
If you want her to go back tomorrow, say goodbye, please.
Mother.
Okay, so...
You.
Oh, no, please. Is this my mum we're talking about? Mother, you. Is that you, Mum? If so, what's my name? What's my nickname? All right, let's leave that one. Let's go back to you. Tell us some being English.
Look, that said F you.
If you want Alison to go back to the UK, tell it, say either get out or goodbye. So go on. Get out. Bye.
Get!
You're so close. Get out. Swear, we can just say anything. Just tell her to say goodbye. If you wanted to leave, you're going to make her. If you say goodbye, I'll get her to come down the stairs. How are we doing for time?
57.
Just say goodbye because we need to pack up.
I'm okay.
All right. All right, we're going to have to pack up now because these lovely people need to go. Let me try and get her.
Go.
Thank you. That's what I was asking for.
Finally got there.
It's time.
Time? Okay.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Why?
Because I said, I was telling her about Alice, about you being English. I didn't tell them I was.
Thank you.
And
I didn't mention my dad is English either.
no, we missed that bit, didn't we? We didn't. It's like now. Yeah. So we asked if you were English, and what did it say? It came out with
Gesh.
Well, I said if you want Alison to leave, say tell her to. Do you want Alison to
England.
go back to England? And you said yes. And then I said if you wanted to go, then tell her to get out or to go. And then you said get, and then you said go. But also, you know, when you said it came out with mother, you.
Yeah.
You know the first two names we've had come out tonight.
Remind me.
First one was Tom.
Oh.
Second one was John. That's my son's name.
Really?
I never thought. Mm-hmm. And of course,
And Cad came out earlier as well on the thing, didn't it? So.
Can you tell your mother to stop?
I know. I told her. I said to her, didn't I tell her to bugger off? I said, Mother, just leave me alone. Seriously. Well, that was pretty cool. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, that was really good.
It was good. Well, hopefully got some good stories now.
I know.
So, Keg, that's it for us tonight from Cork Jail. What do you
It was
think?
cool, actually. And I think our trainee for the night.
Our intern for the night.
Oh, sorry, intern for the night, which
yes.
is they've upgraded to intern now. So
Has been very, very helpful.
it has been, and it was very much enjoyed it as well. But we've had some really interesting things tonight. I've really enjoyed that. I think we've.
Can you tell your mother not to keep coming through?
Yeah, Mum, stop it. Just stop it.
She's on the books. She's on the books.
You know, when I'm working. You know, mind you, suppose I don't get the equipment out when I'm not working, do I? So
That's it. So, all right, we're going to keep trekking on. If you're ever in Cork, definitely stop in and come and visit the Cork Jail, the old Cork
Got
Jail.
to.
Tours, you can wander around. It's an amazing place. The architecture is absolutely stunning as well. So, all right, we're on to our next location. We will see you next time. Okay,
Bye.
Bye.